Hi there, today's a follow-up video to a previous video that I did on a Mac issue. The Mac issue is that when you first start up, or when you start up your machine or start up your Mac, you notice this flashing folder with a question mark in it. It's a fairly common problem, and there's really two reasons for this. One is the file system is damaged, so the Mac OS. The other is there could be a connection problem with the cable connected to your motherboard inside of the Mac. With the cable, it's easy enough just to open up the case, ensure that the cable is connected firmly and securely, both to the hard drive as well to the motherboard. That is one solution. The next solution is what I'm going to be demonstrating today, and that is basically reinstalling your Mac OS. It does mean, unfortunately, that the information that's on your hard drive will be removed and will be deleted permanently. Keep in mind that you can pull the hard drive that's in your computer and put it into another computer to retrieve your data prior to reinstalling. You may be able to do this both on a Mac and a PC. So taking out your hard drive from your Mac, installing it on a PC as an external hard drive, you may be able to access the file system. If both of these methods fail, I strongly suggest seeking someone that is an expert in a Mac, such as, obviously, Apple, or any other computer store that may be familiar with the Apple product. So, let's begin by ejecting the CD tray, installing or inserting the CD, and restarting the computer. Now, currently I'm using a tower where the CD tray needs to be opened from the keyboard. So I'll just go ahead and open up the tray, insert the CD, close the tray, and you'll notice that the flashing folder has disappeared. It's currently loading up the CD, and I'll just give it a couple of minutes and we'll see what happens. Now this is a method that a lot of people have used, and as you can see here, it does nothing except for bring it back to that flashing question. Now you will see the Apple symbol. Give it a moment more. And now we'll see the loading of the Mac OS. Now for this video, I'm going to try to run this video non-stop, if at all possible. I may decide after the fact to cut out pieces of this video. And just to mention, this is one method of installing the Mac OS. Basically, placing the CD in the tray, closing the tray, and letting the Mac take it from there and basically boot up the CD drive, in this case the DVD. This is one method. The method that I've used before in a previous video that I don't think I've actually videoed. I think I did just do it offline. And that was for the Mac Air. And for that one there, I basically, what's called cold booting, in other words, put the CD in the tray, restarted the unit, and it booted from the tray, or from the DVD at that time. This method here, I'm using a different method, which is basically booting up the machine, inserting the CD, and letting it take it from there. I'm just going to pause the video now, and I'll return shortly. So I've just placed the DVD into the tray of the Mac, restarted the Mac, and held down the Option key. The Option key is what tells the Mac to load up the DVD. And once you hold that down for a while, you will eventually get the following screen. Now the screen shows a CD or a DVD in the middle of the screen showing EFI boot with an arrow above that. Click on the arrow, and that will load up the CD or the DVD. It will then be replaced with the Apple symbol, which will eventually load up the option for you to install, or in this case, reinstall your Mac OS. I'll now pause the video and continue after that's loaded. So now we've rebooted the Mac, and we've held down the Option key, and that has loaded up the DVD and the DVD tray. After several minutes of load, you'll then see the Mac OS X Utilities window. In the Utilities window, you'll have four options. One option is Restore from Time Machine Backup. The next is Reinstall Mac OS X, Get Help Online, and Disk Utility. You'll note that Get Help Online indicates you are online, and indeed you are. You do have Wi-Fi access, and that is already enabled. So what we'll do now is we'll go into Disk Utility, which is the last option. Click on that, and then click Continue. Once you do that, the Disk Utility application will load up and will gather information about your disk. Once that's finished, you'll see the different options that you have in the left menu. So you'll see, in this case, I have a 40 gig Seagate hard drive installed on this computer, the Super Drive with the installation CD, as well as Disk 2 Mac OS X base system. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select the 40 gig hard drive, and I'm going to select Erase and set it to Mac OS Journalized. Select Partition. You'll see there are no partitions in there currently, so we'll go ahead and create a partition. We'll give it a name. We'll then click on Apply. And then it comes up and it asks if we're sure that we're about to do this. And I'm going to say Partition instead of Cancel. And then it's going to create the Mac partition. We now have a hard drive, or a partition, sorry. We have the option for RAID, but we only have one single hard drive in this unit. So now that we have the partition, we can then exit out of the utility, which will return us back to the Mac OS X utilities, and now we can choose the option to reinstall Mac OS X. Click Continue. Now we have the option to continue the installation, and then we have our license agreement. Click I agree, and then click Agree again. We then see the Mac HDD hard drive, which is the one that I created, the partition earlier. We're going to select that partition, and we're going to click on Install. it will then start to install the Mac OS X. Now, according to this, it is going to be finished in approximately 22 minutes. I'm going to pause the video and come back once it's completed. Okay, so this is a continuation. We're down to the last 16 seconds of the reinstall of the Mac OS X line. And we now have 0 seconds remaining. And now the system is just restarting. Classic Apple sound of the boot. We now have the Mac OS, or sorry, the Mac logo, as well as the loading status. Okay, so we're now seeing the install screen. And it's saying here installing the Mac OS X on Mac HDD. And it's saying time remaining about 19 minutes. So again, I'll pause the video here and come back when it's closer to the end. So if you don't have a wireless network, what you can do is you can choose the option over here, which is other network options. Once you do that, you can choose the appropriate connection. In my case, it's local Ethernet. Click Next. And it asks if I want to transfer information to this Mac from a PC, from a Mac, or from Time Machine or another disk. I'm going to say Continue because I don't want to do that. And then it asks me for my Mac ID. I'm going to skip that, just click on Continue, and then type in my personal information. I wonder if you can skip that. No, you can't. Actually, you can. Okay, so now we have first, last, the account name, password, and so on and so forth. It doesn't require a password to log in, so I'm going to uncheck that and click on Continue. Actually, it still asks for a password. So go ahead and type one in there. And now I'll click on Continue. It's going to now create the account. It's now connecting to Apple. And then I'm going to choose the correct location. In this case, I'm in Toronto. Click Continue, and then start using login. And there we go. We now have the Lion OS with the dock on the bottom and the menu on the top. So we'll see here that the system is now operational and ready to use. That concludes this video. Please rate and review the video. If you do like it, just give it a thumbs up. I do appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments, please do post them. Thank you again.